Hello and welcome to Ralph's Garage. Yeah, we're out in the garage, and that's because I've got a VW camper. Yeah, and a few people have tried to talk me out of getting rid of it because, you know, obviously my life's changed a bit. But it's a big part of me and my son's life. You know, he came out of hospital more or less in that camper, or not long after. Anyway, but it won't fit in this garage. Not with the regular up and over door, because when you lift it up, although it's a 6-foot door, allegedly, when you open it up, the clearance is only 5 foot. So an up and over door really isn't going to work. So in order to do that, I've had to remove a concrete lintel that went right across there. I managed to get it out on my own, but if you look, there's a couple of bolt holes up there, and the same the other side. And it was bolted in, so couldn't get the bolts to move, so just ground the heads off, knocked the bolts through, and then just kept tapping 1/4 inch each side very gently, and making sure there was nobody the other side, obviously, until the thing fell out. So that's opened it up, and of course the sides are held together by all this angle iron anyway, and the other end's all solid. So I've got to get my camper in here today, and the idea is get it in, and then tomorrow sometime I shall put a bracing piece back across there, and I shall get some wooden opening doors put on it, which should give me the clearance. I can't really order the doors until I get the camper in and know for sure that they're the right height. If need be, I might be able to put an extra strip of wood on the top of the doors if I need that extra clearance up, but it is quite tight. At least I can go up to here. I don't think my camper's as high as that. So yeah, so that's why I'm at here. Got enough wood there, I think, to make a garage door frame. So there's no point in ordering that in. That's over 100 quid for a garage door frame. And this is pressure treated timber, this. So that'll be useful. Anyway, everything else I've stacked up. Got a MIG weld there, that's got to come out of here. And all the tin that's in the roof, well, I've just left it for now. If somebody pinches it, they pinch it. I'm not overly worried. And I don't know if you remember back on the earlier Ralph's House videos, this is my dad's wiring. It's not, well, it worked, you know, but it's not the proper way to do it. Really wants putting in proper trunking. The idea being that if something heavy drops against the wall and hits the cable, it doesn't bite into it. You know, this is unprotected, isn't it, really? It was all right for him, but well, plenty of cobwebs. Look at that. I've been sweeping them out, and snails. I've been sweeping them out as best I could. The floor's got a crack all the way down the middle of it, but apparently that crack hasn't moved in many, many years. So at some point I shall go along this with the angle grinder, try and get it a little smoother than it was, and I shall clean out all the gap and then fill it with some quick setting cement, and that should sort that. And then yeah, so that's what we're doing today. I'm just waiting on a recovery truck to drop it off to me, and then we'll get it in here. Luckily enough, this garage is 16 foot long, so you know it'll fit in here easy. And then we'll know what height we've got, and I can start thinking about putting in a new frame, and that'll be the garage sorted. And here it comes. Bad when it's on a recovery truck, isn't it? But he's a mate, that's the good thing. This is about 7 in the evening, and whilst I love these lights, they pose a bit of a problem that I hadn't envisaged. You see that line that goes there, and it may be possible to get around it with changing the bulb for a golf ball bulb, I will try it. But unfortunately, when you go up the stairs, that light shines straight in your eyes. Well, actually, when you come down the stairs. So I'm going to try a golf ball bulb in it first. And if that doesn't work, I will have to switch back to the shelf lights. But having said that, if I do have to move them, and it is possible, all is not lost, because I could put them here or again on the next one down. So one there and one there. That's another possibility. The only things that would light up the underside of the shelf, but it'd be quite dramatic, wouldn't it, going down? So I've got a couple of options there. Does mean running some new wires though. Again, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We can do that. I can run an extra lighting loom for those. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with those. Not always easy, is it? Bit of an update with the porch doors. As you know, I really want to get these replaced, and I managed to seal them last year, so at least the water runs off them. But you look in these corners, I don't know if you can see that. See the rot? Yeah. So, you know, they're not going to last much longer. And as I found during the winter, because I don't have double glazing on my porch door, not only was the porch freezing cold, so was my hallway. So I'm losing an awful lot of heat out of it. And yet I know that the government have got sort of grants to help with ventilation. Absolutely total waste of time, because to qualify for storm doors, and I desperately need them to insulate this place, you have to pay. You also have to invest in underfloor insulation, and you've got to pay towards that. So really, it's just simply not worth claiming. As far as I know, that scheme has now been scrapped, and rightfully so. But it would have been nice if I could have just got a little help with these, because they're not going to be cheap to do it. But when I had my first vaccine a few weeks back, I was sat in the doctor's surgery, and there was a guy in the corner, got a face mask on, you wouldn't have known who he was until he spoke. And I straight away said, "You're Jimmy the Tiler." And he said,
"Hi, I'm Jimmy the Tiler."
I said, "Listen, Jimmy, do you know anybody that can do my UPVC storm doors?" And he said, "I do." He said, "And I'm working with them the weekend." Now, here's a tip for anybody who has to employ tradesmen, because although we all like to try and do as much as we can, sometimes it's not necessarily that it's beyond our capability. But if you get a pro in to do it, they'll do a much better job and done site faster than I do it, because they do it all day long. And in the case of Jimmy, you know, he's been tiling many years, and he's in his 60s now, and one of his knee joints is going, so I think sort of long term he won't be able to do floors. Well, when he has his knee operation, they've told him he won't be able to do floors, so he's been putting it off. But the good thing about Jimmy is, because he's been in the business a long time, he's worked alongside many other tradesmen, and he knows the ones that are any good. So under normal circumstances, you would get 3 quotes and pick the best deal, wouldn't you? But I'm not going to do that, because Jimmy was brilliant. I loved working with him. I loved the fact he called a spade a spade. I loved the fact that he swore while he was working.
I'll put my prices up now, fuck this.
He just really amused me. I did like Jimmy a lot. And it was rather a shame when the job came to an end, because I liked him around for company. Yeah, nice guy. But yeah, because he's a good tradesman, he knows the ones that are any good. And he's put me onto a guy who's going to come and have a look at the weekend and see what sort of price we're looking at to replace these. I know they're not going to be dirt cheap, but on the other hand, they hopefully will be reasonable. We will see. I shall keep you more updated on that. I'll know by the weekend anyway, whether or not I'm going to take him on, but it seems quite likely. I'll be the first to admit it's a little on the tight side, but it is in here. Well, we did get it in, and it did clear those roof brackets. I thought they would, and I was quite right. I did have to take that cross member off to get it in, so I calculated that right. But what I'm going to do is do some measurements and work out what I need to brace that will also clear the camper. and I can probably get some standard sized wooden doors, that's what I'm thinking, and add extra pieces to the top to make up the extra height that I need. That's my plan for that. Yeah, so we did manage to get it all swept out. Well, I did. My lad was either at college or playing on his computer. He's got no real interest in this. The only thing is, when I come to work on my camper, it's going to be a little on the tight side getting round, isn't it? And I don't know if the tabloids are, I don't know if you can believe them, to be honest. It's strange, isn't it? Like the Sun and the Daily Mirror, they'll tell us that in 2 weeks' time there's going to be snow and blizzards and high winds and all the rest of it. Do they know something the Met Office don't know? Because they always predict these things and they never come to fruition, do they? Anyway, but just to be on the safe side, because my garage door is just literally propped in front of my camper, tomorrow I'm going to come up and fasten this all up and bolt it up against the concrete so it doesn't go anywhere, and it's pretty solid. Not that I'm expecting anybody to break in, because if they squeeze in they're not going to be able to get much out. It's a bit tight, but I don't want that garage door collapsing and landing on somebody walking down the alleyway. Wouldn't be good, would it? So yeah, I shall get that done. So that's where we are with the garage. At least she's home, and tomorrow I'm going to start pulling all these things away from the fence that have been here since since before my father died. Got these huge bamboos which are lovely, but they're in huge pots and they're really heavy, and I've got to replace this fence. I'm going to have to start somewhere at next door's extension. I need to get this done because they've got small children, and it doesn't look good when their garden fence is down, does it? So I bought a Met post in there, so I put the first post in, then the next, and we should just carry on up. Unfortunately, there's a huge bed here that my dad has propped back, or did prop back, with paving slabs. That never works particularly well, and of course the slab's now leaning that way, so I'm going to have to pull all those out. I'm going to have to dig all that soil out, and possibly I may have to lose a shrub or two, or at least crop them right down, because I'm going to have to dig back far enough to actually get this fence in. I don't want to damage the fence with damp and everything else, so I've got that job to do. So we'll get cracking on that tomorrow, and hopefully in the week we can get from here to here on fencing, and then we'll go on to the next section and so on. At least get it secured up, and then we can carry on working down the fencing. My neighbours are great, and he said if he's got any time in the week he'll come out and give me a hand. Same the other side. Lovely Phil. Can't fault Phil. He even brings my bin in occasionally. Can't ask for better than that, can you? So that's the back garden. I don't think I've actually shown you this before, but this is the look how old these doors are. They've been there since the house was built. So is this conservatory, and it's got to go, this conservatory. It gets incredibly hot. I've seen it at 120, no, right off the scale sometimes, 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 55 in here. Not a great deal of use, not even as a greenhouse, just too hot. So my thinking is, what it really wants is a proper sealed roof, not a glass roof, and open at the front, possibly. But otherwise, sealed roof, not this glass roof. There are inherent dangers with that, let's be honest. I'm allowed to build out 3 metres anyway, so I can actually come out a little bit further if I want to build an extension at the back. Don't need planning permission for that, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, the stack pipe sits in here, so I'm going to have to find a way to box all that off so it's not so visible. Anyway, that's the horrible conservatory, which I'm sure will stand for another couple of years, but it's something else I've got to tackle. And look at all the plants that are growing in here. Yeah, the outside stuff's fun, isn't it? I've just bought a load of pot for the garden, and you're thinking, surely you've got enough, Ralph? Well, actually, no, I haven't, because I want to grow vegetables, and I'm thinking I'll grow them in little pots, carrots, bits and pieces. Anyway, I only paid £30 for the lot, which I think is pretty good. I've been saying for months now that I'll get this fence done, and actually I've started on it. This next section's rotten. Tomorrow I'm going to remove all of that. I've just tucked it up temporarily, got a bit of a barrier, but yeah, it's going all right. I've got a fair bit of wood to work through, and post. I've gone overkill on post because I think really I could have got away with 3 inch, but anyway, We've got 4-inch on concrete Godfather, so that should be plenty strong enough. And managed to reinstate me water, but that's where my dad put it, and it's not a bad place. It at the moment takes the rain off this old conservatory at the back, collects it in the bucket. This conservatory's got to go. When I figure out what on earth I'm going to replace it with. Could do me an extension, but it would be a very long drawn out job if I did, because I'd always be waiting on materials. Anyway, I shall crack on and then we'll get on with the next section. One of the joys of getting older, I don't know how much, 62, 63, born in 1959, so work it out. I'll lose track. Yeah, one of the joys of, well, I don't know if it's a joy or not, but one of the side effects of getting to this sort of age is you get excited about seed catalogues and plants and stuff like that. Well, now, I never was earlier in my life, but I'm quite keen on growing vegetables and salad throughout the year. And I made myself a grow box with lights, and I've still got to suss out the heating for it. I'll probably put in a 40-watt bowl with a thermostat. That'll probably be enough. But it's what to plant. I mean, what would you plant? I'm definitely doing tomatoes this year, although generally on the whole it's not actually worth your while growing tomatoes, because when you do come to grow them, that's at the time where they're at the cheapest anyway. So I don't know, but yeah, maybe salad tomatoes. Bit of cress, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Some rocket. Yeah, I should do these. I've had these a couple of years. I'm sure they'll be alright. Chili peppers, have to think about that one. Aubergine, never eaten them. Don't know. Sweet corn, oh gosh, you got to get that in early. I know that. I did try it once before, and it grew, but by the time it got to the point where it was going to fruit, if you like, it was too late and the frost came. Peppers I've already got in. Runner beans, I've been given some good seeds for those actually, by my second father. Cherry tomatoes, I've got 2 lots of cherry tomatoes, so I could do a lot of tomatoes. So if you can't really freeze them, can you? I'll have to look at that. If there's any way I can do that, maybe turn it into some kind of tomato puree and maybe freeze that. I don't know. Now I've got a freezer on, I'm trying to make the best of it. And what else have we got? Oh yeah, peas in this one. I knew I had some of those left. And my favourite, night scented stock. I love that stuff. It's great because it only smells at night, and it only really comes out at night either. It's pretty quiet during the day, but at night all the flowers open and you get that amazing smell. And of course sweet peas, and I generally like to grow sweet peas with the ordinary peas, so you get the benefit of both. You get the flowers and you get the peas. Yeah, so that's my sad life. In bed at, what time is it? 20 to 8. Mind you, it's been a long day. So that's it from Ralph's house, from episode 117. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's a lot of episodes. Incidentally, if you want to kind of recap, look for the 100th episode of Ralph's house. There's lots of clips in there from, all the 100 odd episodes that I've done. Worth a look. I'll leave a link below in case you want to see that. But anyway, that's it from Ralph's house for this week. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Thumbs down if you really didn't. I don't mind. And, don't forget the usual. Subscribe. Take care.